March 31st, 2006, Columbus, Ohio. It was supposed to be a normal night out. 27-year-old Brian Shaffer, a medical student with a promising future, had spent the evening with friends, celebrating the start of spring break. Nothing seemed unusual. Nothing seemed out of place. But by sunrise, Brian Shaffer would disappear into one of the most baffling mysteries in modern true crime. The night began like countless others. Brian met friends for drinks in downtown Columbus. Witnesses described him as being in good spirits. Surveillance footage captured him entering a popular bar known as the Ugly Tuna Saloona shortly before midnight. At the time, nobody gave it a second thought. Why would they? Brian looked like any other young man enjoying a night out. Hours passed. Music played. People came and went. The bar remained crowded. Then, shortly before closing time, surveillance cameras captured Brian standing outside the entrance talking with two women. It would become one of the most analyzed moments in the entire case. Because after that footage, Brian was never seen again. Investigators later reviewed security recordings repeatedly. They observed Brian entering the bar. They saw him socializing. They saw him near the entrance, but despite extensive review, they never found footage showing him leaving. Imagine that for a moment, a crowded bar, security cameras covering the entrance, hundreds of people around, yet somehow a man walks in and seemingly vanishes. When Brian failed to return home, concern quickly grew. Friends couldn't reach him. His family became alarmed. And soon, police launched a missing person investigation. Detectives examined surveillance footage frame by frame. They interviewed friends, staff members, and patrons. Searches were conducted throughout the area, but the mystery only deepened. No evidence suggested Brian had boarded a flight. No confirmed financial activity occurred after his disappearance. No reliable sightings emerged. Nothing. As years passed, theories multiplied. Some believe Brian left voluntarily and started a new life elsewhere. Others suspect he may have exited through an area not fully covered by cameras. And then there are those who believe he encountered foul play after leaving the bar. But despite years of investigation, no theory has been proven.
If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss future stories and case updates.
And that's what makes this case so haunting. Unlike many disappearances, there is a precise location, a precise time frame, and actual surveillance footage. Yet the answer remains elusive. How does someone disappear from one of the busiest parts of a city without leaving a trace? Today, Brian Shaffer remains missing. His family has spent years searching for answers. Investigators continue to accept tips, and true crime communities still debate what happened that night, because somewhere the truth still exists, hidden in a detail, a memory, or a secret that has never been revealed. Until then, the disappearance of Brian Shaffer remains one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. A crowded bar, a surveillance camera, a young man with his whole life ahead of him. And then, nothing. Before you go, I want you to think about one thing. Investigators saw Brian enter the bar, but they never saw him leave. So here's the question. How does someone disappear from a crowded bar without being seen? Leave your theory in the comments below, because after all these years, that mystery still doesn't make sense. And maybe your perspective will spot something everyone else has overlooked.